Do you want to start working with plant spirits or plant allies? Stay tuned, let's talk about it. Hi everybody, welcome back to another video by Pan Society. I'm Cherie and I want to talk about a question that I got about working with plant allies and plant spirits. And I love this question. The question goes along the lines of they're new to working with plants and they want to know how to develop that plant relationship. And because I love plants so much, I could talk about this all day long. First, I want to give a shout out. It is a beautiful day. I can hear the birds, tons of life going on right now. So I hope you're having a wonderful day and you're getting outside a little bit. So back to the plant ally question. The easiest way to do this is, so let me start off with terms. When I say plant ally and plant spirit, when I say ally, that's a medicinal term. When you go to any herbalism school or if you are making herbal medicines, you typically say plant allies. And there's reasons for this, some legal and some just to make distinctions between the terms. And then there's plant spirit, which is the animism belief that everything has an energy or spirit to it. And we believe this in plants as well. I would always say start off small. Find one plant to work with, and this is the same in whether you're doing medicinal herbalism or if you are doing magical herbalism, because there's a lot of information and there's tons of plants out there. So this is a lifetime of studying and connecting that you're going to be doing. So always pick one that resonates with you. And I'm not knocking all the people that have all the plants in their house. I love that. I love the people that are just, there's tons of YouTube channels and I get sucked into them. I love looking at their collections. But they don't have the plants for the same reasons that you're going to. So they're on a totally different path for what they're doing, and so don't feel like you have to get there now. It's better to take that time and work up that relationship. So when you pick a plant, this is talking to it, spending time with it, taking care of it. This is learning about it, tasting it, if it is an edible one that you can ingest, because a lot of the plants we work with, you cannot. Magically, medicinally, you can ingest all of them. Oh, most of them, sorry. There are some that are only used topically. I'll take that back. So when you're taking that time, you're studying it. How does it grow? What does it need? Is it talking to you? Meditate with it. Because the plants, like people and animals, have personalities and spirits and energies behind them. So they'll tell you what they like, what they don't like. They'll also tell you when it's time to use them and when it's not. You just have to pay attention to the plant. It takes time. Keep a notebook or keep, whether you're using a book of shadows or a journal or even a materia medica, like keep a log of what you're working with, the differences that you see, how it helps you, because even though we have specific uses, known uses for certain herbs, you might discover a new one or a way that it only works for you but not someone else. So these are notes you need to have, especially if you're going to help work with other people as well, because plants maybe only want to work with you and not someone else. Which brings me to my point of I always love the idea of giving plants as housewarming gifts, because I always think somebody should have a little bit of nature in their life. But the thing is, if that person doesn't pick the plant or the plant doesn't pick the person, it might not be a harmonious relationship. And so you always have to think of both parties, you know, not just the person that's receiving, but the person, or but the plant as well, and how it's going to feel in being in someone's home. I'm actually going through this right now myself. I am trying to, because I constantly grow a lot of plants, I take pups from the plants that I already have, or the seedlings, and I'm just continually going. So when I'm finding them new homes, I actually sit down with them and meditate with them, talk to them, seeing how they feel about going to a certain person's house. Do they want to stay with me? Do they want to go outside? Do they want to stay inside. Tons of things. So take your time with the plant. This is how you develop and cultivate that relationship with it. And maybe a plant, like if you've ever walked into a nursery and then there's like one specific plant that calls to you, there's a reason for that. Maybe that plant needs to go with you now because it knows you need it. It's that same concept of, if you notice that there's like a lot of dandelions in your yard one year where there wasn't before, pay attention. What are dandelions good for? Maybe there's something going on with your body that you need dandelions for. Same thing with noticing specific plants. Like if you're out doing nature walks or whatever and you're consistently seeing the same plant or the same grouping of plants that are known energetically for a specific purpose, pay attention to that. What is it saying to you? Do you need it? Does someone in your life need it? Do you need to take them home? Now, that also brings me to another point. When you're out wildcrafting, which is when you're out in nature and you're selecting plants out in the wild, respect that. Take only what you need. Leave some so that it can cultivate itself and keep going, and ask the plant first. So if you don't need the plant, don't take it. If you didn't ask its permission, don't take it. Because plants, even though they have medicinal properties or magical properties, if you don't have that relationship and that mutual respect or the consent, it's not going to work for you. And then you're going to sit there and say, oh, well, these don't work, or they don't work for me, or whatever. Well, it's because you didn't have its permission and it wasn't ready to work with you that day. So it's one of those things to keep in mind when you're making medicine, like what kind of mood you're in, or when you're making teas and stuff, because all of that has a reflection and means something in the end. So with that, I hope I answered your question. If you have any more questions along this line, comment down below, let me know. Or if I didn't speak clearly on something, please let me know. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time in another pan video.